Hello everyone, in this video we will see top 100 CSAP interview questions and answers with examples. Okay, so I have taken question from each and every topic, and here I have taken almost 100 questions. So we'll see one by one and we'll see with examples. Okay, so let's get started. So the first question is, what is CSAP? So CSAP is a object-oriented programming language. Okay, so this is very simple. And when we are saying object-oriented programming language, that means it follows inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, and polymorphism. Okay. The second question is, what are the main feature of CSAP? So we can give two, three example. The first one we can give object. It is object oriented. Then it's component oriented. Component oriented means we can reuse the functionality and methods, right? Uh, it is strongly type, like it will check type at the compile time only. So it will check strictly, it check type at the compile time. So suppose if you have just initialize integer and if you're assigning any kind of string value there, so at the compile time only it will give some error. Okay, so it will reduce the runtime error. So this is strongly typed. So this is scalable and updatable. Then it is automatic garbage collection also, we can do it automatically. So it manages like memory allocation and deallocation automatically. Then exception handling also we can do it very easily with the help of try, catch, and finally block. Okay. Now the third question is, what is namespace in CSAP? So a namespace is a container that holds A namespace is a container that holds classes, structure, enum, delegate, and other namespace. Okay. Namespace are used to organize code element and to create global unique types. So we can say a namespace is a logical container inside we are just writing all the classes, structure, delegates, enums, everything. So you can see here, this is one namespace and inside that I have written one class. Okay. So let's go to the code. I'll show you. So you can see here, this is my application. I have created one application here. So this is namespace, right? This is namespace, and inside that I have written class. Inside class I am writing methods. I'll just add the properties and everything. So suppose if I'll create any new class. So let me create new class here. Sorry. So let me add a class here. Yeah, so you can see here, right? This is the namespace. Inside that I have a class. So this is the namespace, and how you will call this. So let me delete this class one, not required. So suppose this is my class and I want to call in the main method. How you will do that? You have to create the object for that, right? So how you will create the object? So I'll go to the main method and I'll create the object. So calculator, new calculator, okay, and calculator dot add. So add is the method. You can see here, right? I have created one method add, and I have to pass two values here. So I'll just pass 10 and 20. So this is the way you can call the method. Now we'll see what is difference between the class and object. So class is a blueprint for creating objects. It defines properties, methods, and events. So in C you can, so this is my class, and inside class I can create the method, I can write the properties, events, everything we can do that. An object is a instance of a class. It is created using the new keyword. So suppose if you want to, so this is one example. So this is one of my class. Inside that I have created the fields, I have created method, and how you will call that. So for that we have to create the object. So inside main method, if you're calling the class, we have to create the object, and after that we can call the method and property. So similarly I'll show you. So here how we are calling. So we are just creating object using new keyword, and after that we are calling the method. Okay, so you can write multiple methods also, you can add multiple methods. So I hope this is clear, class and object. Now we'll see what is the purpose of the main method in CSAP. So the main method is the entry point of the CSAP application. It is where the program start execution. Okay, so this is the main method. it will always hit first here only in the main method. So this is my like application, and here is the main method, right? So it will this if I'll run this application, it will hit here only. So it will start from here only. So whatever we are calling from here, whatever we are doing from here, that will call. Okay, so main method is the entry point of C# application. Now see like what is different types of comments in C#. So C# support three type of comments. So the first one is a single line comment, multi-line comments, and XML documentation comment. The single line comment like basically we use for the any kind of if you want to add any comments, right? So we can use like this. So like this we can add this. So single line comment, okay? And this multi-line comment, suppose if I have the big like comments, at that time basically we use multi-line comment. So suppose I have to add the comment, and so this is my multi-line comments, and here we can add the comments. So this is multi-line comment, okay? I hope this is clear. And the third one is the XML documentation comment. So basically when we use the XML documentation comment, suppose if you have to add the summary of the class, or maybe like we have written any method, and if you want to add the summary or documentation of that method, so at that time we will use XML documentation comment. So if you type 3 times, see this is the summary, and inside that you can just write the summary of this class, like this is the calculator where we are adding the like we have the methods add, and here we are just passing two variables a and b, okay? So such kind of comments if you want to add, you can use the XML documentation comment, okay? Now we'll go what is data type in C#. So a data type specifies the type of the data that a variable can hold. C# is a strongly typed language, meaning each variable must have a type declared. So I have told like C# is a strongly typed, that means like each variable must have the type declared. So how many type of data types in C#? We have integer, we have double, we have character, we have a string and boolean. Okay, so this is my like suppose we are using integer, then we have to like we have to initialize the only integer value. If you are using double, then we have to initialize double value. If you are using character, then we are just using the character value. And in suppose like in here, if you will just assign any string value, it will give me the compile time error. That's the reason it is a strongly typed language. Okay, so I'll show you. Let me copy this. So let's go here. So I'll show you. So this is integer, this is double, this is character, this is a string, and this is the boolean. You can see, right? So you can see that. So this is like integer value, this is double, this is character, and suppose if I'll just write any hello here, it will give me the compile time error only, right? The name hello does not exist in the current context. So that means like we have to initialize only integer value here. Okay, I hope this is clear. So if we'll just give the integer value here, it will work. Okay, now we'll see like what are the value type and reference type in C#. So value type is store data directly. So in value type we are storing data directly, and these are the example: integer, character, float, boolean. What is reference type? So in reference type we are just storing the reference of the actual data, and these are the example: classes, string, array, and delegate. So we'll see one example. So I have taken one example here. I'll show you. So you can see here, this is the value type. So directly we are assigning the value. So it will store the value directly. It will not store the reference. And while copying, now we are initializing like y equal to x. So the value of y would be 10. Again we are initializing y equal to 20, so the value will be 20. Okay, so let me show you. So 10, see directly it will assign the value. So here you can see the 10 and y equal to 10. Now I'll change the value of y, so y would be 20. So now you can print x and y. So you can see the value x is equal to 10 and y equal to 20. Okay. And in the reference type, we are just storing the reference of the actual data. Okay. So this is the example for reference type. So here you can see that, right? I have taken one array, so it will store the reference of the value. And suppose if I'm copying, like, suppose I have taken one another array, copy numbers, and we are just assigning the same value. It will store the reference. It will not store the actual data, rather than it will store the reference, and it will change the value of the reference. It will change the data. So here, like, the first 0th position, if I'm changing 99, then 1 would be replaced by 99. So let me show you. So here you can see, right, I'm just storing the reference 0, 1, 2. So array always start from 0th index. So see, here I'm storing the reference, and here also you can see that the copy number also, like, we are storing the reference only. So if I'll change the value of 0th position, it will change, like, it will replace the value of 1 with 99. So now you can see that. So you can see, right, value of 0th position is 99. Now we'll see what is difference between const and read only in CSAP. So a const is the value is constant and cannot be changed. It must be assigned at the time of declaration. So the constant value we cannot change in the application. It always must be assigned at the time of declaration only. So whatever value we are just assigning at the time of declaration, that would be the value for the constant. Read only. The value can be assigned either at the time of the declaration or within the constructor of the class. So here we can we can assign value at 2 times, either, like, at the time of declaration or inside the constructor. Only 2 times we can change the value of read only. So we'll see the example. So here I have one class, and see this constant value I'm just initializing at the time of declaration only. And for read only, either you can initialize here, otherwise you can initialize in the constructor. So let me copy this, I'll show you. So okay, so sorry, I just removed the class name here. So let me copy this. Inside the class, actually, we have to write, right? So this is my class. Let me remove this also. So inside the class, I'll write this. Okay. So you can see, okay, so the constructor should be the name of class only. So you can see this const only, I'm declaring at the time of declaration only, I'm initializing the value. And for read only, we can do it here also, or maybe at the time of inside the constructor, we can do that. So how we will call this? So for that, we have to create the object of this class. So let me create the object. And here I have to pass one value. So 20, I'll pass that. Okay. So this is the way, like, you can do that. So I hope this is clear. Now we'll see, like, what is the array. So an array is the collection of variable of the same type stored in contiguous location, memory location. Okay. So array is collection of same data type. If you will ask the simple definition, array is the collection of same data type. Okay. And how you will initialize that? So there are two ways to initialize. The first one is this, and the second is this one. So let me copy this. I'll show you. Go to the main method, and so this is the declaration, and this is I'm just adding the value. Okay, so this is the way, and how you will print that. For that we have to use the for loop. So I can use the for each loop, and I'll write the console.write. So it will print all the value. Let me show you. So here I've declared the array. I'm adding the value here, and then you can print the value. So you can see, right, 1 2 3 4 5. So this is one way. Another way, like how you can do that. Uh, so this is the another way, like you can initialize the array. So I'll show you. So this is the C. So if we'll print this also, it will print the same value. You can see, right, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so clear. Now we'll see like what is CSAP in what is list in the CSAP. So a list is a generic collection in the system dot. So this is the namespace for list that allow dynamic resizing. Okay, so this is a generic collection. So how many generic collection, like how many generic collection are available in the CSAP? So we have list and dictionary. So two type of generic collection are available. And why we are using, because like at the time of declaration only we have to define the type. So suppose like this is my list, here I have to define which kind of data type I will use. So either I'll use the integer, string, or like at the time of declaration only we have to initialize the data type. And that's the reason it makes like it is little bit performance wise generic collection are faster compared to non-generic. And how many non-generics are there? So array list and hash table are non-generic, and there we need not to specify the data at the time of declaration. Okay, so this is the generic collection and how you can use that. So I'll show you. So let's go to the code. So this is the way, like we can declare the list and we can add the value. And again, like for printing purpose we can use the for loop. Yeah, so let me print this. So we'll go one by one and then we'll print that. Let me run one more time. So you can see, right, 1 2 3. Yeah, and this is a like we will iterate through the list, so we can use that for loop, for each loop. Okay, now we'll see what is a method in CSAP. So a method is a block of code that performs a specific task. It can be called to execute the code it contains. So a method is a block that performs a specific task. So this is the class. Inside that I can write multiple methods, and inside the method we can write the logic. Okay, so it is like piece of code that contains some kind of logic. So this is the like here say hello is the one method, and inside that I have written like console.writeLine. And how you can call that? For that you have to create the object and we can call the method, okay, in the main class. Now see like what is method overloading in CSAP. So method overloading and method overriding are part of the polymorphism. So this is the OOPS principle. And what polymorphism says that, so as we know, like poly means many and morphism means form. So a object can like an object can behave differently based on the situation. And how we can achieve that? We can achieve through method overloading and method overriding. So what method overloading says that, method overloading is the ability to define multiple methods with the same name but the different parameter. So we can add like multiple method in the same class with the same name, but it should have different parameters. So here you can see that. So I have one class, right? The program is the class, and I have one method. This is print method, and I have another method also with the print. So but you can see here, right, here we have the different parameter. Here we are using a string and here we are using integer. Okay, so once like we will just call this method, so based on the value it will be recognized which method I have to call. So if we'll just give the string value, it will call the string one, and if we'll give the like integer value, it will call the integer one. So I'll show you. So this is, I'll just call the, I'll let me copy the method name. I'll go to the my application and here I'll call this method. Okay. So this is one method and this is another method. Okay. Now let me call this cal. So here we have a string and we have integer. So let me call the object. Okay. And then using the, what is the method name? Print. So we'll call the print. So print, if we'll give the integer value, it will call to the integer one. And if you'll just give the string value, it will go to the string method. Okay. So let me show you. So F10, then F11, you can see, right? It is going to the this method where we have the integer parameter. It will print the value. Then again F10 and F11, it will go to the string one. Okay. And now it will print. So you can see here, right? 10 and hello. I hope this is clear. Now we'll see what is method overloading in C#. So method overloading allow a subclass to provide a specific implementation of a method that is already defined in the base class. So again the same thing we can use, suppose I have two different class and suppose like that's the child class, I mean derived class are using the base class or parent class. So we can use the same method also. So we can use the same method but we have to override that. So how we will achieve that? By using the virtual and override keyword. So you can see I have two different method here, like two different methods are there. So this is base class and this is the derived class. And derived class is using the base class, like it is just inheriting the base class. And like again it is using the same method only. So you can see here display is the method, again display is this here also I'm using the display method, but I'm just overriding. So for that I'm just in the base class I'm using the virtual keyword, and in the child class I'm using the override keyword. Okay. And in the main method, like if you'll call the derived class, it suppose if I'll call this class, so and if you're calling the display method, it will print this one, not this one. Okay. So let me show you. Let me copy the whole thing. So just wanted to show you. So this is the first thing. Okay, so this is my first method. You can see, right? So this is the base class. So here I have defined one method with the virtual keyword. This is the derived class when I'm just inheriting this base class. So I can use the reuse the method, right? I can reuse the method. So for that, I'm just using the override keyword, and then I'm just writing my own logic here in this derived class. And how you can call that? So suppose if I want to call this derived class in the main method. So I've just created two class in the same namespace, but you can create the different class also. So one for the base class, one for the derived class. Okay. So here I'll just use derived, then derived class dot, what is the method? Display is the method. So we'll see how it is. So I have created the object, and then see it is going to the derived one and it will print the derived class display. So you can see the output, right? Derived class display. So now we will see what is the inheritance in C#. So inheritance is a feature of object-oriented programming that allow a class to inherit members such as fields, methods, and properties from the another class. Okay, so the simple definition would be like, derived class can use the fields method and properties of the parent class. So suppose this is my parent class and this is my child class. So here I have just inheriting my parent class, right? So after inheriting, I can use the like in a parent class method, properties, field, everything we can use in the child class. Okay. So suppose if I'll call this dog, like, suppose I'm calling this dog and creating the object of the dog. So I can call both methods, like, it also I can call and back also I can call from here. So I'll show you. So let me copy this. So I'll paste it everything here. Yeah, so you can see, right, I have two class here. So the first one is animal and the second one is dog. So dog is inheriting the animal. So we can use the both methods. So if I'll call this class, I'll create the object of this class. So let me show you. So dog equal to new dog dot eat. So we can use the both dog bark. Okay. So you can see here, right? I can use both eat also and bark also using the dog. Like, this I have created a object for this one, not the animal one. So let me show you. So you can see here, right? I'll just put F11, F10. It will print the eating. One more time. So it has created the object. Then it will print the eating. Then it will go to the bark F11. See, it will print the barking. Okay. Click on continue. So you can see, right, eating and barking both are printing here. The next question is, what is polymorphism in C Sharp? So polymorphism allow methods to do different things based on the object it is acting upon. It can be achieved through method overriding and interface. Yeah, that is correct, right? So polymorphism is like, if you just break the word, poly means many and morphism means form. So an object will act differently based on the situation. And how you can handle, like, we can handle through method overloading and method overriding, right? So here you can see that I have one class animal and the second class I have dog, right? So and second class is using animal, like, it is inheriting, right? So in the first class I'm just using a virtual method, and in the second class I'm just overriding, right? So that we can do that with the help of virtual and override keyword. And after that we will use that, like, in the main method we can call that. Okay. Now we'll see, like, what are interface in C Sharp. An interface defines a contract that implementing class must follow, right? Interface can contain method signatures, properties, events, and indexer, but no implementation. So interface is just like a contract that the implementing class must follow, right? So that is the correct definition. And this is the example. So suppose I'm using this is my interface, like, I have just created one interface, I animal, and this is one class where I'm using this interface. So this is just like a signature, right? I have to implement that wherever I'm just using this interface. So I'm just using this interface, so I have to implement this. So that is the reason I'm just implementing here in this class. Okay. Similarly, this is another class, and here also I'm just using this interface, so I have to use this, like, I have to use this I have to use this implementation, I have to use this method and implement that. So here also I'm just doing that, and in the main method, like, I'm just calling this like interface, and after that I'm calling this method. Okay. So let me copy this. So let's go to the code. So here what I can do, that I can create one interface. Okay. So this is my interface, and after that I'll create this class. So I can have created this class. So this is my one class, and I'll copy this one also. So you can see here, right? I have created one interface, and if I'll not use this, say it will give me some compile time error. Like I have to implement that. Dog does not implemented interface member INML make sound, right? So I have to implement this method. Okay. So this is fine, right? And after that, how I can call in the main method. For that also I have written the code. So this is the way, like, we can call the. So I need to create object, and after that, so, so cat dot make sound. Okay. So you can see, right? So let me run this application. Yeah, so I have created an object after that f11. So it is going to the this method, and after that I have created for the cat one also, and then it is going to the make sound method. Okay, so you can see that bark and mew. So you can see here, right? Whatever we are printing, it is printing in the console. So now you have understand, right? Now we'll see, like, what is encapsulation in CSAP. So encapsulation is the bundling of data and method that operate on the data within a single unit, usually a class. It is implemented using access modifier to control access to class members. So that is right? So if you break this word encapsulation, there we will get a word called like capsule, right? So in capsule, what we do, basically we just bundle everything and we give it as a one capsule, right? So similarly in encapsulation also, like, it's bundle the data and methods with the help of access modifier, like, private public keyword, and it gives us like as a single unit, usually a class in the form of class, it gives, right? So similar, this is the real definition of the encapsulation, and how you can achieve that, we can achieve through access modifier. So you can see here, so this is one class, and this is my this is one field, right? And here this field is private, so we cannot access directly, right? So for that they have created one properties, like, public properties, where we are getting the value, we are setting the value, and then we are getting the value, right? So directly you cannot access this thing. So that is the real meaning of encapsulation, like, we can achieve through public and private access modifier. So let me copy this one. So let me copy the class only. So you can see here, right? This is one field. After that, I'm just using the getter setter properties. Yeah. So you can see, right? So how you can call this? So for that, I have to create the object, right? I'll create that. So person equal to new person. After that, I can set the value. What is that? Yeah, name, right? So I can set the value name, anything I can set that, and after that I'll print that. Okay, so I'm just getting the name. So here I'm just setting the value, and after that I'm getting that. So if I want to directly access this name, we cannot able to access, right? So you can say that. So name we are accessing, that's this is the capital letter, right? This one is the small one. So we cannot get in the main method. So let me run this. So here I've created object. After that I'm setting the value, and then I'm getting the value. Okay. So you can see that text. So let's go to the next question. What are properties in C sharp? So properties are members that provide a flexible mechanism to read, write, or compute the value of the private field. They are access using get and set accessor. So that is fine, right? So this is one class and this is my field. So this is private field, right? So directly we cannot access that. So properties why we are using to getting and setting the value. So here you can use the public field, and you can set the value and get the value. So similarly what I have shown you. So in the main class also they are they have created the object. After that they are setting the value, and after that they are getting the value. Okay. So properties are basically used to read and write the any kind of field. Okay. Now we'll see what is indexer in C sharp. So an indexer allow an object to be indexed in the similar way to array. Indexer are defined using the this keyword. Okay. So indexer basically we use to retrieve the data in the faster manner, right? And why we are using this indexer? So we've always use in the form of collection. So if you'll see here, this is one class. This is one class, and here I have created as a same collection. So in place of t I can pass anything. So here it has passes a string, but we can pass the integer also. And after that I have created one array. So I'm just basically, if I'm here, I'm just doing the abstraction, right? I'm hiding the thing, and after that I'm just getting setting. So here you can see that. So I have used this keyword, and after that I'm getting and setting that. So it doesn't mean you have to use the always array here. You can use the other thing also, you can use the list also and dictionary also. So here basically what we do in the indexer, we create the collection, and after that we abstract that, right? So in the outer world they never know what we have done in this class, which field is private, which field is public, and we are just validating, and we are just giving as a class. Okay. So let me copy this and I'll show you. So go to the my application. I'll, so you can see here, right? I have created a in a collection here. After that, I am just using as an array, and here you can see this is the way you can define the index. So this keyword is there, and here I am just passing this integer, and after that I'm getting and setting the value. So in the main method, what I have to do, I'll copy the same thing and I'll show you. So I have to create one object here, right? So I'm creating the object. After that, I'm just setting the value, and then I'm reading the value here, right? So you can see here, I have created the object. Then after that, I'm just setting the value, the 0th and first position, and then after that, I'm getting the value. So I'll show you. So here I've created. Okay, I have to run one more time. So there is some issue. Let me run one more time. Yeah, so you can see here, right? This is printing hello world. So whatever we have we are setting here, it is going, and then we are just setting here, and then they are returning in the from the class, right? So I hope you have understand what is the importance of indexer. Okay. Now we'll see what are delegate in CSAP. So delegate are type safe function pointers that can refer to method with a specific signature. They are used to pass method as argument to other methods. Okay. So delegate basically use as a argument in the method. We can pass as argument in the method. Okay. So you can see here this is the delegate. I'm just using the delegate here, and this is the class. So if you see here, this is the one class here. The print message is there, and this is matching this signature is matching with my delegate. So if I'm using string here, so my delegate also should have a string only. Otherwise, if I'll create one more method with integer, it will not directly call to from the delegate. We cannot directly call to the method. And how we are calling in the main method? So yeah, I'm just creating object of the delegate, and then I'm just passing the message. Okay. So I'll show you. So let me copy this first. So I'll go to the program one. So here you can see I have created one delegate here, and then this is my method. Sorry, I have to call not inside the main method. So this is just like another class. So yeah, this is fine, right? And from the main method, I have to create the object. Yeah, so I'll show you now. So here what I have done, I have created the delegate, and here is my another method. So if you'll see the signature, right? This signature and this signature are matching. So if I'll create one another, and after that, how I will call that? So I have created one object here of the delegate, and then I'm just passing the this method name. Okay, so it will directly call this method and print this. If I'll just write another method, I'll show you. And if I'll write integer here, right, then it will not call this method because the signature is different. This is this signature and this signature, delegate signature are different. So that's the reason it will not call that method. So I'll show you. So this is the way, and see how it is going. So it is going to this method, right? So from the delegate, we are directly calling to the method. I guess I have to run one more time. There is some issue with, yeah. So now you can see that hello world, I'm just printing the hello world here. Okay. Now let's go to the another question. What are events in CSAP? So events are a special delegate used to provide notification. They are typically used to signal that something has happened. So events are in events basically what we do, basically we have two things. One is the publisher and one is the subscriber. So event is by the name only you can relate event is something we have to publish that, and someone has to it will provide the notifications so that someone should get that notification, right? So in C sharp, how we do that? So for that we have to create two classes. The first one would be the publisher, and the second one is the subscriber. Okay, and from the main method, what it is doing, it is just creating the object of the publisher, and after that it is from the subscriber, it is calling the publisher. Okay, and this is the method we are calling that. So whatever we are publisher are doing, we can subscribe that, we can get that message. Okay, so let me copy this, I'll show you. So this is one class publisher, and this is the method. Yeah, so you can see here, right? So this is one publisher class. Here I have created one event here. So what it will do when we call this, when we'll call this method do something, it will call this method on raise customer event, right? Inside that I have written the logic, and from here it will call the subscriber. So this is my subscriber. I Let me copy this one also. So this is the publisher and this is subscriber. So let me remove this one. Yeah, so in this subscriber, we are just calling this publisher, like you can see here, right? We are calling this and then we are subscribing. And from here, we will get the notification event received. So let me copy, we'll go to the program.cs and we'll delete this thing is not required now. Yeah, so what I'll do that. So I have created the publisher. Okay, me. Okay, so from the publisher, you can see here. So from I have created the object of publisher. After that, I'm just creating the object of subscriber, and from subscriber, I'm calling this publisher. So if you'll see here, it will go to the publisher first. It is called, I'm calling this method do something. So from do something, what it is calling on raise customer event, right? And from here it will see, it will directly go to the subscriber. So see here, it is coming to the subscriber, and after that it will print this event received. Okay. Uh, yeah, so you can see here that the message event received. So this is the message actually we are printing from here. Okay. So whatever we are just publishing, like from the publisher we can get the subscriber notification. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Now we'll see what is exception handling in CSAP. So exception handling is a mechanism for handling runtime error. That is fine, right? It will handle the runtime. It uses try, catch, finally, and throw keywords to handle exception gracefully. So basically, how we can handle the exception by using the try, catch, and finally block, right? So you can see here. This is my here I have written one logic I have written that inside the try block, and if anything goes wrong, it will directly cast that and it will print the it will print the what is the error here, and finally will irrespective of anything it will go to the finally block, right? So let me copy the whole thing, I'll show you. So yeah, so inside the try I have just initialized this array, and after that I'm just trying to write the index 5 which is not available here, right? Here we have just 0 1 2 is there, so it will go to the cache block, right? So you can see here, right? So it is not found here. So now it will go to the cache block and then it will print the value. Like, whatever value if you want to print, or maybe like if you want to write any custom logic here in the cache block, you can write it here. And after that, it will go to the finally. Okay. So finally is optional, but try catch are like, kind of mandatory. So you can see here. So whatever like, I have written here with the message, this is the message. Index was outside of the bound. Okay. And the finally, like, here I'm just, it will go to the finally block and it will just print this value finally block executed. Okay. Now see like, what is a constructor in C#. So a constructor is a special method of a class that initialize new object. It has same name as the class and does not have a return type. Okay. So if you see here, this is the class, right? And this is one constructor here. So constructor should be same name as a class name. Okay. So this is the parameterized constructor. So we have two kind of constructor, right? One is the default constructor where we are not like, providing any value, and this is the parameterized constructor. Here I have added like, one variable here. So from the main method, how we will do that? So we have, while creating the object, we have to pass some value at that at the time of class initialization only it will initialize the value. Okay. And then we are just uh, like, reading the name. Okay. So let me copy this. I will show you. So this is my class. So this is the class. This is one kind of that the field and properties. Okay. And this is like, my constructor. So constructor has the same name as the class name. And this is like, one parameter I'm passing that. So while calling this, so if you'll call in the main method, how you will call that? So I have to create the object first. New person. And after that, oh sorry, here I have to pass some value. So I have to pass hello. Okay. And after that, I can read the value also. So right. So in this way, you can read the value. Yeah, the person. Okay. Oh, so name is there, right? Okay, person dot name I have to print. So this is the person, and after that name. So then it will give me the correct value. So you can see here, right? This hello. So this is fine, right? What is destructor in CSAP? So a destructor is used to clean up resources. Okay, it's basically used to clean up the resources. It is called automatically. So we need not to call it, right? When an object is destroyed. Destructor are defined using a tilde symbol. Like, this is the tilde symbol, and this is the way like we can define that, followed by the class name. Okay. So it will clean up the code. Now see like, what is a static class in CSAP? So a static class cannot be instantiated and can contain only static members. It is used to create utility or helper class. Okay, so it cannot be instantiated, meaning like, we cannot create the object of the static class. Suppose if I have created the static class here, so I cannot create like, utility equal to new keyword. We cannot instantiate that, right? So that is the meaning of like, a static class. And a static class only have like, static members only. Okay, so you can see here like this is the my static class. I have a static member only, static methods, static members. So let me copy this. So basically it is used to create any kind of utility, or maybe if common logic are there, so we generally create that. Yeah, so right. So you can see here, right? I have a static class, and inside that I have created static member, and I'm just printing the value. So if I'll try to create the utility, if I'll try to create the object of utility, we cannot create that. Okay, so it will give some error. Okay, so how you can do that? Directly we have to call the class name. So utility dot method name. So directly call utility dot method name. Okay, this is fine, right? So directly class dot method name. So this is my class and method name. So this is the way, like, you can call to the static class. See, it is going to this method and it will print that. Okay, hello world. Okay, this is fine, right? Now see, uh, next question. What is difference between abstract class and interface in CSAP? So abstract class can contain both abstract and concrete method. So it will contain, like, normal method also and abstract method also. So abstract and non-abstract method also. It can have field and constructor. So inside the abstract class you can create the field also and constructor also. What is interface? Interface can only contain method signature, properties, event, and indexer. It cannot have field, constructor, or any concrete method, right? So as we know, like, interface only have the signature, right? No implementation there. But if this is the abstract class, so inside abstract class we can create the, like, non-abstract method also and abstract method also. So this is abstract method, right? And this is my normal method. So we can create any kind of method. And for in interface, like, I'm just creating this kind of signature only. We can create that, right? So I hope this is clear with you. Now I'll go 28th question. What is LINQ in CSAP? So LINQ stand, like, language integrated query is a set of feature that allow querying of the data using CSAP syntax. Okay, so we can query the database using CSAP syntax. It can be used with collection, SQL database, XML, and more. Okay, so you can use with any kind of their database, not only SQL, Oracle database also you can use that, other database also you can use that with the CSAP syntax. Okay, so the idea was to invent as link use, because, like, we have the different kind of data set out there, right? So we cannot learn the, like, if you don't want to learn, like, SQL database, Oracle database query directly, you can use the CSAP syntax only and we can query the data. Okay, so you can see here, this is one example. So this is my list value, like inside the list I have just initialized the value 1 2 3 4 5, and I wanted to print the even number. So for that also we can use the LINQ query. So this is the way, like, you can start LINQ query. So from, then where, then select, right? So it will fetch the even number, and after that you can print the value. Okay, I hope this is clear with you. Now we'll see, like, what is difference between array and array list in CSAP. So array is the fixed size, okay, and collection, like, it is just a collection of same data type and fixed size. So, like, this is one example. So if I have just fixed the array with length 5, okay, if you'll just go beyond of 5, it will give you the error. And what is array list? So array list is the dynamically resizable and can hold element of any type, not type safe. So this is not type safe. So this is my array list. So this is the way, like, you can initialize the array list, and after that you can add any value here. So see, I have added integer also, string also, decimal also. Okay, so this is the way. So array is just like, collection of same data type, but it is like, different data type also you can assign. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now see, what is for loop in CSAP. So the for loop iterate through the element of the collection, array, or any enumerable object. Okay, so basically if you want to iterate the value, I mean, if you want to read the value, suppose this is integer, you can use the list also or anything else. So while like, how you will read the value here. So for that we can use the for each loop, right? So this is the way, like, you can use the for each loop and you can print the value. Now see, like, what is while loop in CSAP. So the while loop execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. Okay, So this is like, this is suppose this is integer. I'm just initializing with 0. So as long as this condition will be true, it will go inside this block. Okay. I hope this is clear. Okay. So it will go till 0 is less than 5. That is fine. It will go till 5, like, till 4 it will go. Okay. And it will print the value. Now we'll see like what is do while loop in CSAP. So the do while loop execute a block of code once and then repeats the loop as long the specified condition is true. So it will like it will go to the block at least once. So if suppose this is my do block, so it will print this value at least one. So this is an integer, right? So it will print the value at least one, and after that it is like incrementing the value, and then after that it is checking the condition. So it will print the value at least one, and after that it will go and further check the condition. Okay. Now we'll see what is switch statement in CSAP. So the switch statement select one of many code blocks to be executed. So you can here I can see like many code block are there. So switch statement, what it will do, it will just select one. So let me copy this and I'll show you what it means. Oh, sorry, I have to write one class here, right? Oh, sorry, I've just like inside the main method I have to write. Okay, so I'll write here. Okay, then we have to use the break statement also every time, otherwise we'll continue that. So you can see here, right? So this will where it will go. Days two. So two it will go to the Tuesday. Okay. So this is just like an alternative of if and else block, but there are some like limitation of the everything like if and else block also and switch statement also. Suppose if I have to write like this, so day greater than two, we cannot write like this, right? In the switch statement it is not possible, but in if else block we can do that. So where there is the range, right? There are the range, then like switch statement will not work. I hope this is clear. So there only we have to use the if and else block. Okay, so next question is what is a structure in CSAP? So a structure is a value type that contains constructors, constants, fields, methods, properties, indexer, operators, event, and nested type. So a structure is a value type, the first thing, right? This is the value type and it can contains everything. But what is the difference between a structure and class then, right? So there are some limitation of the structure. So class is the reference type, not the value type, right? So structure is the value type. So why we are using class rather than a structure? Because like class support inheritance while a structure does not support inheritance, and class is somehow like performance wise faster than the structure, but it is almost similar like class only. So you can see here, right? This is my structure and inside that I can create the properties. I can create the constructor also, and the similarly like how we are calling to the class, like we are just creating the object and then we are calling the class, right? So similarly you can do for the structure also. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now see what is an enumeration in CSAP. So an enumeration is a distinct type that consists of a set of named constant, okay, called the enumerator list. So basically if you want to retrieve the data based on the name, right, we can use enums. So you can see here, right, public enums day, and here we are just writing the name Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and after that how we are calling that. So for that we are creating the object of days. You can see here, right, and directly we are calling days dot value. Directly we are calling, so Wednesday or maybe Thursday, directly you can call it. I'll show you in the code. So let me copy this. I'll go here. Okay, so yeah, so this is my enum, and this is the way we define name in enum. You can see here, right? Inside enum, I'm just defining the name, and how you will call that. Similarly, we are calling, we have to create the object. So days dot, this we will just call, copy this one only. Yeah, right. So directly we can call to the by name only we can call. So I'll put one breakpoint here, then I'll show you. Okay, I need to remove this, not required. Yeah, so you can see now. So it will print the value. Okay, Wednesday. Yeah, so now we will see what is a nullable type in CSAP. So a nullable type can represent all the values of its underlying type plus an additional null value. Okay, it is declared using a question mark after the value type. So if you see here I have just defined integer value nullable int equal to null. Okay, with this symbol, question mark symbol. But usually if you'll just define the integer value and if you'll not give this symbol, then it will give you the compile time error, right? Because integer will not support the null value. It is always support the integer value like 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's the reason we are uh, just giving this symbol, question mark symbol, nullable type symbol, so that it should start supported the null value also. Okay, and it is only for the integer. You can check for the boolean or double value also. Okay, so let me copy this. I'll show you. So I have initialized that. After that, I'm just checking. Okay. So you can see here. So here I've just defined the nullable value. If I'll remove this, it will give me the compile time error. Right? You can see here. Cannot convert null to integer because it's not nullable value type. Okay. So that's the reason if I'm providing this, it will handle the null value also. So that's the reason we are just giving this nullable type. Yeah, now we will see what is the is keyword in CSAP. So the is keyword check if the value is compatible with the given type and returns boolean value. Okay. So it will always check whether it is compatible or not. So suppose I have defined here object equal to hello world. So this is a string value, right? Now I'm checking if object is a string, so this is a string value, then it will go inside and it will print the value. Okay, so it always check whether the object is compatible or not, and it will always return a boolean value. So that is the use of is keyword. Now we'll see what is the as keyword in CSAP. So the as keyword performs a type conversion and returns null, okay, if conversion fails, instead of throwing an exception. So it will not throw the exception, it will always returns null value. So same here, this is my object. I have created one object and here I've assigned one string value, and again I'm just initializing string equal to object as a string. So if object string is not equal to null, then it will go inside that. Otherwise, it will go to the else block. It will not throw any exception. Okay. So that is the purpose of as keyword. So I'll show you. Let me copy this. You can see here, right? This is my object. Here I have just defined as a string, And this is again, I'm just initializing one string here, an object as a string, like, as symbol I'm using as a string. So if a string is not equal to null, then it will go inside, otherwise it will go to the else block. Okay, so you can see here, right? Since string is not null, so it will go and it will print conversion successful. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, so now we will see what is difference between dispose and finalize in CSAP. So dispose, so explicitly released unmanaged resources implemented by iDisposable interface. Okay, and finalize implicitly released unmanaged resources before the object is reclaimed by garbage collection implemented by destructor. Okay, so dispose basically like called by developer, like manually called by developer, while finalize will be called by garbage collection. Okay, so this is the code, like how we write. So this is the code for the dispose, and inside the destructor we write the code for the finalize. Okay, so when we are saying like an unmanaged resource in the case of dispose, what does that mean? Okay, so that means like we are just using file handling in the class. We are using the database connection in the class, right? We are using the network socket in the class. So these are unmanaged resources. Okay, so we have to dispose that. So to the best practice, like we have to use the using statement. So using statement will automatically it will call the dispose. Okay, dispose method. But I have seen like in multiple times like people are using dispose and finalize in the code also. But it's better to use like using a statement in the code. Okay, that will call the dispose. Okay, so now we will see like what is the lock statement in CSAP. So the lock statement is used to ensure that a block of code runs to completion without interruption by any other threads. Okay, so this is the meaning of lock statement. And basically like lock statement comes to the picture in case of multi-threaded application, right? Where two or more threads are trying to access the same resources like file reading or file writing at the same time. Okay, so to avoid any kind of unexpected behavior, right, we use lock so that it should only allow like to access one thread at a time. So to use the lock, we basically use the private keyword and then read only. Okay, and after that we have to create the new object, and this is the way like we implement the lock. Okay. Yeah, so now we will see like what is multi-threading in CSAP. So multi-threading is the ability to run multiple threads concurrently. It helps in performing multiple operations simultaneously, improving the application performance. So if you see here, this is my class, and this is one method I have written like print number, which is printing like 0 to 4. And from like main method I'm calling this print number inside the thread. So you can see here, right, thread t equal to new thread, and after that I'm using t dot start. So you can create multiple threads here, right? So it will run concurrently. Okay, multiple threads. So I have written only one thread here, but it you can write multiple threads and it will run concurrently. So let me copy this. I'll just wanted to show you in the code. So I'll create one method here. So this is one method. Okay, so this is one method, and from main method I can call this. Yeah, so you can see here, right? So this is one thread. You can create multiple threads and you can call multiple method. And the good thing, like you can use like sleep with thread. You can use the thread safety also using lock statement, right? You all can do with the multi-threading. So let me run this application. And if I'll so see now, it will print the value. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is the meaning of multi-threading. Okay, so now we will see like what is the async and await keyword in CSAP. So async and await keyword are used to write asynchronous code. Okay, so they make asynchronous programming easier by allowing you to write code that performs asynchronous operation without blocking the main thread. Okay, so when we are talking about the asynchronous code, that means like it allows the program to continue running other tasks. Okay, instead for waiting for one task to complete. Okay, so that is very useful. So that is very useful for if we are using like any external API call, or maybe like any long running task. At that time it will not stop other tasks to complete. Okay, and how you can achieve that? By using async and await keyword. So if you are using async, then only you can use the await keyword. So this is one method. It will just delaying the task for 1 second. Okay, and from the main method I'm just calling this method. Okay, so what it will do, it will just delay one second this task, but it will not stop other tasks to complete. Okay, so that is the reason we are using this async and await keyword. Okay. Yeah, so now we will see like what is the task class in C#. Okay, so the task class represent an asynchronous operation. It is part of system.threading.task namespace, and it is used to handle asynchronous programming. Okay, that is clear, right? This is basically when we are using this task here, that means like it is part of asynchronous operation. Okay. Now we will see what is lambda expression in C#. So a lambda expression is an anonymous function that can contain expression and a statement. Okay, both it will contain. It is used to create delegates or expression trees types. Okay, so if you see here, this is my example of the lambda expression. So if you can see like if this symbol is, this operator is there, that means like it is lambda expression. And if you see here, so in the left side what it is like it is input, and in the right side it is output. And when we are saying like anonymous function, that means like it doesn't have name like regular method. Okay, so this is the like real meaning of the lambda expression. So if you'll see here, it will just add that and it will give you the output in the form of integer. Okay, so let me copy this. And basically like we are using this lambda expression very frequent in the LINQ queries. So what I'll do that I'll paste it here. So if you'll see here, if I'll hover my mouse here, so you can see here, right? So this is like it is taking two statement T1 and T1, and this is the result. So it will give the result in the form of integer only. Let me run this application. Yeah, so what it will do, it will just add the number and it will give me the output as a 2, and 3 it will give the output as a 5. You can see here. Yeah, so now we will see like what is dictionary in C#. So a dictionary is collection of key value pair, okay, and it is the part of system.collection.generic namespace. So dictionary is the part of generic namespace, like it is part of generic. And how you define the dictionary? So dictionary, like we will define like this dictionary, and then this is the key and value. After that, new dictionary key and value pair, right? So if you see here, like key is integer and value is string. So how you will add in the dictionary? So dictionary dot add, and since this is integer, so I will add 1, and this is string. Okay, so likewise we can add the value. And how to retrieve that? So for that we will use the for each loop, and like we have to use like item dot key and this value. So let me copy this and then I'll show you in the code. So I'll just remove this. So this one is not required. So you can see here, right? So this is my dictionary, and this is like I'm adding the dictionary key and value pair, like in the form of key and value I'm just adding, and here I'm retrieving the value. So let me run this application. Yeah, so here I'm creating the dictionary, then adding in the form of key and value, and then I'll retrieve the value. Okay, so you can see here, right? Key is 1 and value is 1, key is 2 and value is 2. Okay. Now, what is the yield keyword in C#? So the yield keyword is used to return each element one at a time from a method, okay, which can be used to implement an iterator. So basically yield we use to implement the iterator only. So here you can see, right, I have one method and enumerable where I'm just returning like yield 1, yield 2, yield 3. Okay, so what it will do is just like it will come here and then return 1 and then it will break. Then again second time it will come here like return to and break. So it will, what it will do, it will just continue until there are no yield return statement, right? So it will improve the performance and memory also, it will improve that. So let me copy this and I'll show you. So yeah, so this is the method, and if you see here, this is the way we can call that. Okay, so let me run this application. So I have created the instance. After that, it will go and uh, it will go gate numbers and see what it will do. It just return one and it will break from here. Now it will go here, it will print, then again it will go and print, then again it will go and print the third one. Okay, so let me show you. One, two, three. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now we'll see what is difference between a string and a string builder in CSAP. So string is immutable. Okay, any operation that appears to modify it will create a new string. So since this is immutable, any modification if you have to do, it will create a new instance in of the string. Okay, in the memory. So for any kind of modification, while a string builder is mutable, that means designed for the scenario where you need to perform repeated modification of the string. So here it will not create any kind of new instance. So a string builder is mostly it is just better in the performance, okay, compared to a string because it always create a new instance. So this is the way you can create that. So this is my string where I'm just adding hello, initializing hello. If you want to add again, this is the way we just append the value, but it will every time we are appending that, it will create a new instance in the memory. So obvious performance would be little bit slower and it will take more memory. So this is the way of to creating a string, and this is the string builder. So we have to write a string builder keyword, then new string builder, and then we have to add the hello here, whatever string you want to append. And if you want to append extra string, then you have to write sb dot append and the world. Okay, and after that you have to print sb dot to string. I hope this is clear. Now we'll see what is an anonymous type in CSAP. So an anonymous type is a temporary data type. Okay, so this is temporary data type that is required by the compiler at the runtime. Okay, it allow you to create a type with a property without defining the type explicitly. Okay, so here we need not to write the type we are here. Suppose this is the example of anonymous function. If you see here name and age, right, we are not defining any properties for name and age. So it is directly we are just doing at the runtime. Okay, so this is the way you can define the anonymous type. So var for equal to new keyword, and after that you can just write your variable name and whatever value if you want to assign, you can assign it. So let me copy this and then I'll show you. So let's go to the code. I'll remove this one. Yeah, so you can see, right? So this is the new keyword. Then I'm just defining name and age. You can write other thing also if you want, and then we can print the value. So you can see, right? John and 30. Yeah, so the next question is what is the partial class in CSAT? Okay, so a partial class allow its definition to be split across multiple files. Okay, so it will split across multiple files and all parts are combined into single class when program is compiled. Okay, and how you can achieve that? By using the partial keyword. So this is the partial keyword. So suppose this is my file one with the same class. Okay, so this is my class, my class. Here I have created the partial keyword, and then this is my one class, and this is the another class, right? The another class is the again partial keyword. So at the time of compile, it will consider as at one only. So when we are using this, when many developers are working on the same class, then we can use the partial class and we can work on that. So I'll show you. So this is my first class. So what I'll do that I'll create one class here. So you can see I'm just using this partial keyword. Now I'll create another class. So you can see here, right? I have created another class. But while creating the object, I'll create as a my class object only. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll go to the main method. I'll create the object my class equal to my class, and how you can access that? My class dot method one and then my class dot method 2. Okay, so let me run this application. So you can see, right, it will print the value. So let's print the value, right? Method 1 and method 2.